What's up, you guys? Joe Hawk here as always, with weekly anime manga reviews, and I'm here with another video. So today we're going to be talking about Kaneki and the fact that he has 4 RC types as of right now. Now, I wasn't really sure how I was going to approach this video, only because there's really not a whole lot that we know as of right now regarding Kaneki, why exactly he has these 4 RC types. So this is more on the lines of speculation why, and it's kind of a very simple answer, and it's kind of up to you whether or not you want to accept it, because it is sort of a cop out due to a lot of people's very ill feelings towards Rize and the way how she's been represented in Tokyo Ghoul. So hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get ready with this video. So Kaneki, why does he have 4 RC types? The answer is actually very, very simple. If you go back to, I believe, chapter 164, you have where Kaneki, this is after, like, Furuta's little speech that he had on the news, and he is talking, and then, like, you see all, like, the dragon orphans running around killing people, and then Psycho gets infected with ROS. Urei has, like, a little bit of the poison in him, but according to Kimi, it's not going to spread anymore. And then we find out that Kaneki is resistant to the poison. Now, if you go through this whole entire chapter, I believe it's on page 14 or 15, you have where Kimi tells Kaneki that he is resistant to the poison, like he has a natural resistance, and the fact that it's probably caused because of the many unidentified organs within his body. Now, this makes a lot of sense to me. And for people also wondering why exactly I keep on saying that Kaneki has 4 RC types, if you go back to chapter 170, I think 177, whatever chapter where you see Kaneki actually fighting Rize or Dragon, you have where Kaneki actually showcases all 4 different RC types, and the representation of his friends, which is actually really cool. You have where he starts off by using Nishio's like serpent-like Bikaku tail in order to kind of like block an attack from Dragon that came in against him. Then he lifts up his arm, and then like from his like under region, like his, I guess, his armpit area, because the Kokaku like Kagune sack is like really weird, because like you have the Ukaku's like in your shoulder, it's like right on your upper back, and then like the Kokaku's like right here, but like a lot of times like wraps around your arm. But you have where it wraps around Kaneki's arm, kind of like a ribbon, very similar to Tsukiyama, and it's like a large blade, and he uses that to like attack the dragon heads, and he's like cutting them off and stuff. And then you have where once he gets smushed in between Dragon's teeth, he busts out with Ukaku wings, and actually in that panel he says like, oh yeah, the world itself is like absolutely beautiful or something like that, which is kind of a reference to Toka. So Kaneki has 4 different RC types, which is pretty cool, and I'm probably gonna make a separate video talking about like the strength of Kaneki and where he stands among like everyone in TG, because like small hint, he's probably the strongest guy. But back to what I was saying before though, Kaneki has 4 different RC types. He has unidentified organs within his body. Now, obviously, those unidentified organs within his body are not the Kakaho, aren't like normal Kakaho. It's some type of organ that is put inside of him because he was the nucleus of Dragon. This explains why he's capable of like healing almost instantaneously. The fact of why he was able to survive that fight with Dragon, why he's so much stronger, why he's able to fight up against Furuta, and why his Kakuja, or the full capabilities of him using all 4 RC types against Furuta, which I know the Tokyo Ghoul Wiki, I've said it before, the Tokyo Ghoul Wiki isn't necessarily like the best source of like what you should really look at certain things, because they have Kaneki's his Kagune that he used against Furuta, like all the blades, as a Kakuja, but we already know one of the things about Kakuja is like you have a mask. Kaneki in that situation does not have a mask, so I think that's the full capability of Kagune. So that's kind of iffy. We don't really know, but Kaneki as a whole is just a very weird case. So if you want to consider that Kaneki's Kakuja, fine, whatever, I can accept that. Or if you don't, that's fine too. I can also accept that. So yeah, whatever. Now, what could this mean? Like, Kaneki having all 4 RC types is interesting, because Kaneki is one of the very few people in the series, one of 2, I believe, and I guess technically 3 if you want to throw Rize in there, because if Rize got out of the dragon body thing, like, she most likely would be in the same situation as Kaneki. I don't see why she wouldn't be. Yabu Shikure was like born with all 4 RC types for whatever reason, and somehow he's also capable of like absorbing the dragon spores and becoming this weird Kakuja monster at the end of the series. And then like Kaneki has all 4 naturally. He's capable of using Bikaku, Rinkaku, Kokaku, and Ukaku, which is crazy. And I guess this is kind of something that's been foreshadowed for a while, because I've always said it, that I always felt like that Kaneki's Kagune was always very, very weird in the way how it's been drawn throughout the course of the story. Because a lot of times, if you go back to some of the things, the subtle like things that Kaneki, like that is said about Kaneki by Ashita, like in the beginning of the chapter or at the end of the chapter, or even the way how it's drawn, Kaneki's Kagune has changed a little bit throughout the course of the story. For example, when he had his fight with Naki, and you have where Kaneki, like, you know, he twists his leg or whatever and he knees Naki in the face, very similar to what he did to Jason, and he's like, oh yeah, it doesn't hurt, or it does hurt a lot. Kaneki stands up in front of Naki, and then his Rinkaku Kagune is like coming out the side, but it looks a little bit different. And Naki's like, oh yeah, that looks so much like Jason's or Big Bro's, which to this day I still don't understand that, because it's like his Kagune and Jason's Kagune do not look the same at all. They look very different, very distinct looking Kagunes. Like, because Jason's kind of have like ripples, whereas Kaneki's Kagune changes form all the time. Another thing about Kaneki's Kagune is, if you go back to the fight they had with Nishio, when he like cracks his finger as Heise, and then the Kagune rips out from his back, it almost looked almost Ukaku-like, where it was like it didn't stabilize yet, which I thought was very weird. Kaneki, a lot of times his Kagune has been symbolized to be very similar to like a dragon or like a king, or in a lot of cases look like wings. So him gaining the Ukaku wings by the very end, very similar to Toka, is not that surprising either. Same thing if you look back at chapter 125, Kaneki, when he's laying on the ground, like after he started crying or whatever, after they did it, you have where Kaneki has like these butterfly looking wings coming out from his back that are like thinly sketched on the ground. Another thing about Kaneki that I feel like no one has brought up, and one thing I do want to kind of bring up when it comes to Kagunes, because I'm going to probably make a separate video later, again, talking about Kagunes and explaining every single RC type or whatever, but Kagunes in the Tokyo Ghoul manga, all of them are red. Because they're RC cells, they are based off of red blood cells. They are called red child cells. That's what the RC stands for. All Kagunes in the series are red. The only time it's changed is when Kaneki first went to go fight Arima. This was like right when he saved Hinami, Toka, Ayato, and actually I don't think he saved Hinami at that point, because I believe Hinami came there with him. So he saved Toka, like he saved the Kirishima family. And you have where when Kaneki shows up there, you see like this panel of Kaneki where he's kind of like standing on the side like this, and he's like posed up, he's like holding his Quinke, and he also has like, you know, his Kagune coming out the ground, and it's when it was like the design that looked like a dragon's hand. They say that Kaneki's Kagune there is like jet black. Now, obviously that has not really a whole lot to do with this video, but I'm just saying like Kaneki's Kagune is definitely, like, his Kakaho has always been displayed to be very different compared to any other RC type, or compared to any other Kakaho. So Kaneki getting this by the very end isn't even really that surprising. Plus, he's the main character. It makes sense that he would end up getting this at some point. You have to have something to kind of like make him diverse compared to other people, besides the fact that he's a half ghoul. Also, another thing about Kaneki is, because of Dragon being like the consumption of several different nucleuses, the fact that he ends up becoming a nucleus, and then it's like the widespread of multiple RCs, or like RC cells like kind of enveloping your body and just multiplying, and it's kind of like a massive retarded giant Kakuja. Kaneki could have, when he was in there and kind of being like fed all of these different RC cells, not to mention he was eating both ghouls and humans. We see it like within his mind. He's like he has a whole entire sea full of them. Kaneki ending up getting a mutation in his body and developing so many RC cells where he ends up developing different separate Kagune stacks isn't really that hard to swallow for me. So anyways, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Remember to comment, subscribe as always. I love you all. And if you have any other videos you guys want me to talk about, either join my Discord, and I have a separate chat where you guys can type in there and talk about what videos you guys would like to see me make, or you guys can just comment down below your thoughts, either on videos I can make in the future, whether they're regarding the Tokyo Ghoul or not, or I guess your guys' thoughts on Kaneki having 4 different RC types. Do you like that? Do you don't like it? If so, why? And yeah, so anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Remember to comment, rate, subscribe as always. Jailhawk signing out. See you guys. Bye.